If you're someone who enjoys jaw-dropping, emotional roller coasters, then you're exactly where you need to be. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and become part of our storytelling family. Now, let's begin. I didn't cry when my husband drove away. That should have been the first red flag. I stood barefoot on our front porch, the wooden boards cold beneath my feet, gripping the coffee mug he'd made for me one final time. His car was already halfway down the driveway when I realized I hadn't said goodbye. Not really. Just a distant, hollow drive safe. And even that sounded rehearsed. We weren't supposed to be ending things, we were just taking space. But the second those taillights vanished, my heart didn't ache. It didn't even twitch. That should have been my warning. Something inside me had already changed. My name is Allison. I married Grant 7 years ago. We were the definition of a picture-perfect couple, college sweethearts who shared the same love for quirky movies and the same dry sense of humor. He made me feel safe, secure, steady. Maybe too steady. Maybe that's where it all began. I never meant to fall for someone else. But life doesn't wait for permission. It started with Derek. He was the new art director at the marketing firm where I worked. Chaos wrapped in charm. Always late, perpetually disheveled, but undeniably brilliant. Next to his spark, my spreadsheets felt like shackles. And he noticed me. Really saw me. At first, it was harmless. Flirty comments, shared lunches, inside jokes. Nothing physical. Nothing openly romantic. At least, not yet. But I began wearing lipstick again. I grabbed 2 coffees instead of 1. And late at night, I found myself scrolling through his Instagram stories like some giddy teenager. Then came the night everything shifted. We'd stayed late finishing a campaign. Everyone else had gone home. It was raining, and we sat by the wide office window, watching the storm drift in. He told me about his divorce, how it broke him, how he'd never truly felt seen. I told him about Grant, how our life felt like living inside a memory, how I sometimes wanted to scream just to feel something new. And then he kissed me. Not with urgency, not forcefully, just enough to short-circuit my brain. I didn't stop him. I didn't even hesitate. That kiss led to late-night drives, cheap motels, deleted messages, a double life. I told myself I was just trying to figure things out, testing whether I still had feelings for Grant by comparing them to this wildfire with Derek. But that's a lie, because deep down I already knew. I was cheating. I was choosing. And it wasn't my husband I was choosing. At home, Grant noticed. He felt the distance. So he tried. Random flowers on Tuesdays. Surprise dinner reservations. He'd ask about my day with a sincerity that broke me. But it felt like watching someone act in a play I'd already walked out of. One evening, he took my hand. "I don't know what's happening," he said, "but I'm not giving up. Let's take a weekend apart. Clear our heads." I agreed, not to save our marriage, but because I didn't have the courage to end it outright. So when Grant packed a small bag and hugged me goodbye, I simply nodded, already checking Derek's schedule in my head. But something unexpected happened. With Grant gone, I thought I'd feel free, relieved, maybe even excited. Instead, I felt hollow. Derek texted, "My place tonight?" I typed yes. Then just stared at the word. That night at Derek's, everything was the same. His smirk, his touch, the thrill of doing something forbidden. But for the first time, I noticed the silence in between. The way he didn't ask about my day. How he never remembered the small things, my favorite wine, my cat's name, how I liked my coffee. It was always about escape, never about real life. In the middle of the night, while he slept, I slipped out of bed, sat at his kitchen table, and cried. The next morning, I didn't text Derek. I didn't go home either. I just drove. I ended up at the park where Grant and I used to go when we were newlyweds. We'd bring sandwiches and play cards on the grass. It felt like another lifetime. Sitting there, I tried to picture a world without him. No Sunday pancakes. No soft snoring next to me. No sticky notes on the fridge saying, "Have a good day." Just silence. Endless, bitter silence. And I panicked. I raced home, heart pounding, praying I could undo it all. Maybe we still had a chance. Maybe I just needed clarity, not destruction. When I got home, Grant's car was already in the driveway. He stood by the garage, arms folded, suitcase still in the trunk. He'd just arrived. He looked tired. I opened my mouth to speak. I didn't even know what I meant to say, but before I could, he looked at me and simply said, "I know." That's all. I know. I froze. He didn't yell. He didn't demand explanations. He just looked at me like I wasn't a puzzle anymore, just something broken he'd already mourned. "How long?" he asked softly. I whispered, "A few months." He nodded, took a deep breath, then asked, "Was it worth it?" That question broke me, because the answer was no. It wasn't. I thought I wanted Derek. I thought I wanted adventure, risk, something new. But in chasing that, I lost something real. Someone who chose me, every single day, even when I didn't deserve it. "I don't know," I whispered. "I don't know what I want." Grant gave me the smallest, saddest smile I've ever seen. Then turned, walked to the car, got in, started the engine, and drove away. And I just stood there, watching. That's when the tears came. Not because he left, but because I let him. Because I destroyed something I didn't even realize I still needed. Over the following weeks, we spoke occasionally, mostly about bills, mail, nothing emotional. Derek kept texting, but every message just reminded me of how wrong I'd been. How blind. I told him I couldn't see him anymore. He didn't protest, just nodded and walked away like it never mattered. And maybe to him it never did. It took months to sift through the wreckage I'd created. Therapy, guilt, endless regret. I never asked Grant to come back. I didn't think I had the right. But nearly a year later, he knocked on my door. He looked different, calmer, stronger. He handed me a manila envelope. "I thought you might want to see this." Inside were old photos, us at the beach, camping, laughing at a friend's wedding. He'd found them while cleaning his office. Couldn't bring himself to throw them away. "I don't hate you," he said, before I could speak. "I just needed to find peace." I nodded, eyes burning. "I'm glad you're okay," I whispered. "So am I." He turned to leave. And in that brief second, I saw it. The version of us that might have survived. That might have fought harder. That maybe, just maybe, in another life would have made it. But in this one, we didn't. And maybe that's the true price of betrayal. You don't just lose love. You lose the right to ever deserve it again.